Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Tuesday, November 16. And this wave 4 here going up to this wave 5 here of 1 will be in line with the other indices around the world. And in that case, last time we spoke, we were looking at this as a wave 3 top with a wave 4 pullback. So it looks like I need to change that. So wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here. And then pushing up for wave 3 and 4 here and 5 here, and then the ABC for the 4 here and then the 5 here, be something of that nature by the looks of it. So yeah, a slight adjustment, but you know, not too far outside of what we're already talking about. So let's go in and to the tick chart and have a bit of a squizzy at this. So from the low here, wave 4, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for 1. So it's basically growing. We could still put wave 3 here, by the way, and because it is such a nice wave 4 here, you know, it's on a nice angle, it's not sharp. So having it as a wave 4 is still plausible. Yeah, but from here, it looks like we've got a little impulse wave here now, so we should see that, well, correct a little bit here and then continue to push up through there. So that's where we are, yeah. But yeah, that this wave 4 could certainly go there. So taking profit up here somewhere is certainly the right thing to do, at least getting a percentage of it somewhere just above the 75 or 75 would be well, not clever but smart, just in case we're wrong. But we'll compare it to the rest of the world as we go along with all of this. But yeah, as far as it goes, we should see the market move up a little bit further. This group 2 here, because this is group 2 here where it came up into group 2 here. Now that creates the support over here for this. We're probably a little bit too excited there for that. It might even still be a bit high, but it's okay for the time being. I mean, if you've already got a long position here, don't really need to add over here for that, but it's just for folks that are looking to get in. So what you could look at here is the 74.50 here as a support. So it's probably 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here and 5 here, and then we'll see something that's never a pretty picture at the beginning of the day. You know, well, what I mean by that is on the open, you know, you've got a lot of games going on at the open, but in some way or another you've got to kind of find that high and then just wait for it to drop and see if you can get a better price and so on and so on. But if that gives a nice high up here, then you should be able to buy the 61.8% if it comes back that far. So let's just take that to, that's 53, that's too high. So 52.50 would be about right. So what we need to do, we need to tone down our excitement to there, and there we go. So anything close to that, I mean, I would go off, if that shoots up there, then I'd use that low there to buy in anywhere at that point. But yeah, that's where we are. So we can expect the banks to chug along and pick up. That top might also be there as well, but no, that's right. So banks. So CommBank here is holding support here quite nicely. So just still waiting for this to move up into the next leg there, which can do that today, I think. That's all good. So this is all about the 110. So we're going to be back at this point over here as well. Just remember that. So we're going to be pushing up there and then coming back again as well. So yeah, just whatever, all good. And ANZ. Yeah, well, that's good. We've waited for this. It dropped, and we just kept our cool and allowed it to turn. To find support and turn. It's doing all the right things at the right time. Nothing out of whack here. So we should also continue to push up there. If you're not in this market, then 28.50 as support. Look for that. That will be a nice catalyst to move in on. And the resources. So with the resources, what we need to do is we need to have a look at iron ore, because I'm just got to keep going over this. We've got this down as 1 and 2 and 3, and we're looking for the bounce of wave 4 here and then down for wave 5. Now, we're also looking for lows in stock as well. But, if that's going to move down, that's going to drag the stocks down. So we really need to be careful about moving into stock. So with BHP as the ADR here, it's possible. I mean, I've got this as 1 and 2 here, but that's probably a bit of a long shot. We could look at, if we're not looking at this as wave 1, well, then we could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here. And then 5 waves down here with some sort of little corrective rally here, and then 3, 4, and 5 down here for that. That's what we need to be careful of. That's for US BHP. Obviously, if I see something in here that we can work with, I will. And the Australian market, we've been poking around for lows in here. It's a different count. For this particular market, as I mentioned before, we've got this is the high here for the Australian BHP, but that's the high for the US BHP. So we know that we've got a low down here somewhere, but once again, we've got the double bottom here, and you can expect a bounce. We've got the bounce. It's possible to look at this as a bullish count, and we'll go to the tick chart for that. So it's possible to count as we can get a bit more data in here. So from this wave 4, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's all quite nice. And then it's pulled back up to 38, which is a profit-taking, 8's a profit-taking number. So we expect the bids to be hit. Didn't quite make a new low on this last one here, but I think it's a reasonable enough bit. We've got a nice 5-wave structure down here. We hit 61.8% there. I think the interesting thing here that I like actually is that the move up here appears to be impulsive. So in a nutshell, we could go long above that high there. And I've been tracking it on the 10-tick chart as well, just to get another perspective of it as well. So we'll just drag in a bit more volume here. So just another way to count all this down here. Yeah, once again, looking at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, even though it's truncated, and then looking at this as wave 1 here. So I think that if it does move up through here, we can glean a small position and then look to build on over here as well. If it doesn't come back to that point, which is the 61.8% mark, well, then it's just going to be bearish anyway, and I should be taking it from that low, not that low, but still it's not a biggie, So yeah, I mean, any move above that, we should be looking to build a long position. So what we could do here is just go half a position. So I'll just thin that line out there, so it makes life a little bit doesn't make it so drastic, when you go to put the trade on. It's just less is more in a way. So yeah, I mean, it's very high risk. Otherwise we should be waiting for the 40, right? So bear that in mind. And the other guys, FMG down the bottom here, and that it's already made a bit of a move off the low here, as we've been chatting about. But we want to wait for, if I can just remove that, What we want to do here is from the low here, we want to count 5 waves up and have that first high above the level there. That's what we want. That's where we'll go long from, but we need that in place. We don't have the first high above the level, so we've got the arrival, and you can see that it's reacted from that price point. So we've got the arrival, the reaction. I don't know, it might spend a couple of days here. It's down on lower volume, so I know that it's corrective. So we will be getting that other little high above the level here, and then resting at that point. But it does give us that reference point and also an impulse wave to the upside at that point. So in one way, it's looking quite good. Now, Rio, sort of same thing. You know, we called a low in, we've seen it pop, and we'll just see. But it could certainly fold back down and cover the gap and all the rest. So it's not I'm not interested, but it does give us that first high above the level. But I'll just wait, just in case we get a move up and then a drop. So I want a bit more of establishment in that point there. So yeah, we'll probably get a little move up, and well, iron ore wasn't up, was it? So yeah, anyway, just still sorting all that out there as well. Also just want to have a look at Newcrest here. Move that. Can we go to an hourly chart or something else? Okay, yeah, right. So with Newcrest mining here, we're looking, this is just a 1 hour chart from the low here. You should know where you are. Wave 1 and 2 here. This is all a little bit messy in here, but I was just assuming at worst, if we look at this move up here, it's spiked around a lot. We could go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 or whatever, but if we look at this as just wave 1 up here, then we'll look for an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So in a way, we're looking for a retest of the 25 area there. So most of the other stocks will be going through the same thing to a point. So I'll leave that there, and we want to have a look at the Australian dollar as well. Maybe I should put the Australian dollar into the commodities, as Wayne said. I think he said that would be a good idea. Okay, so yeah, it's been a bit of a conundrum, this, because up here we've got this corrective wave here. This is very much like commodities, you know, the iron ore and all those sorts of things. So yeah, I really don't know if I should be looking at this as wave 1 here and then back for wave 2, then up for wave 1 and back for wave 2, or just a simple A, B, C here, and we're coming down here further. But as it stands at the moment, that move down here, we've counted it in 3 waves to, well, below the 61.8%, but the 61.8% doesn't really matter because we're working with the closest largest number, and you know, it's doing its business there, so we don't really need that, but we can count down 3 waves here. It could certainly come down further, put it that way. So I don't think we've got the tick charts on that. If we've got a 50 tick chart, I can't remember what we're working on here. I did have it somewhere. I do remember counting it. It's a bit weird. Let me just check again. I wonder where all that's gone then. Okay, well anyway, to the hourly chart. So from the top up here, whichever way you want to look at that, I've got 5 waves here, and we've got wave 2, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3rd, 4th and 5th, all perfect, nothing to concern ourselves about. And then we've got this little move here, which I was looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for that. So we talked about being long above the level here and looking for 5 waves up. It does appear that we've got those 5 waves to the upside here, so we need to take a closer look at that. Could probably sink that in there for that. I'll just put it there until I understand this a little bit better. It does appear to be 5 waves up there, so we could look at it like that. I'll just get a closer view on all of this in a minute. Don't need that. I'll leave that one there for the time being. Okay, so we want to go from here. Let's go 50 ticks. Have a quick look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's okay for 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. Close enough. So that is make a third wave, and then this will be the 5th wave. So then we've got over here for this. We've got. We could look at all of. I'm not going to. Don't need to count it, but that's either wave 1 or wave 2, wave 1 and 2, or an A wave and a B wave. And then if that's the case, that's 1, 2, 3. So we could actually have one more move down before a move up. We could look at that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then have a retracement. So I just need to look at. I need to look at both sides of them. I like looking at both sides of the market. It just tells me stuff. So that's that block of supply there. So any long trades need to be above 73.60 as a tested support, because if that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, then it can move to here and down again. But it doesn't look like it's the case, because this wave 4 here overlaps wave 1, but it does give wave 1 the longest, then the third, and then this one. So it's possible, but because of that, it does mean that. So going long above here would be the safe trade. This is more higher risk at this point here, because the other thing that can occur here, if the market was going to go down further, we can take that here, this distance here, and look at this 50-60% in here for this. So we could go to we could go to this. We can go to this and have another one down. That's what I would expect, like 1, 2, 3. Well, it doesn't even need to go to there, and then one more move to come down. Here has the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave to that point. So we don't need any of these here, but it does mean that we know where we are to a point, and it does appear that we've got 5 waves to the upside here. So that's very positive. So if we go back to our hourly chart, wasn't it, in this case? So yes, we can go long there. We can also go long here, but let's, because it's higher risk, let's just halve that risk and put that there. And the market could pull, looks like it wants to pull a little bit lower here to finish off a structure and then move up. So one of the things here that we could also work as well is the 73.50, right? So with the 73.50 here, if the market drops down here, then you know you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could still be bearish at that point, right? But a move back up to 73.50 as the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the ABC pattern here, and then moving up. So if that's the case, then go for another half trade here at that point. There we go. Higher risk in international finance. Okay, so that's that. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.